I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC welterweight contender Belal Muhammad confirms his role as the UFC 296 backup fighter for the main event, Leon Edwards versus Colby Chaos Covington UFC welterweight championship fight. Belal Muhammad is willing to do whatever it takes to get his shot at UFC Gold, including weighing in as a backup fighter for the UFC 296 main event UFC championship, welterweight championship fight between Leon Rocky Edwards and Colby Chaos Covington. UFC CEO Dana White has previously stated that Belal Muhammad would receive a welterweight title shot after extending his unbeaten streak to 10 with a, quote, short notice win over Gilbert Burns at UFC 288 in May. His expectation is he will fight the winner of Saturday's welterweight championship clash between Edwards and Covington, but he's leaving nothing to chance. Belal Muhammad confirmed to MMA Junkie on Sunday today that he will weigh in as the backup fighter in the unlikely situation that Edwards or Covington are forced to withdraw from the final UFC event of 2023, which takes place at T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas with a main card that airs. Okay, we don't have to get into that. This is what Belal Muhammad says. They, UFC, just hit me up on Friday, asked me if I'm willing to weigh in next week. Belal Muhammad told MMA Junkie, I think previously they know Colby and Leon are the two most inactive welterweight in the division. Neither of these guys like to fight. Oh, come on. They're both good at running. Hold on, let me just stop. Didn't Edwards and Belal Muhammad fight already? Right? I mean, what are you talking about? They're both good at running. So to just be on the safe side, UFC called the dude they always steps up when needed. If Belal Muhammad's services are needed, it would be a historic moment. The UFC routinely sets up alternates to weigh in for title fights in recent years, but never has a situation arisen where the person's services were needed. That's interesting. Nevertheless, Belal Muhammad, number 3 welterweight in the UFC rankings, wants to make sure he's front of mind as the number 1 ranked Edwards, number 1 ranked the champion Edwards, and the number 4 ranked Belal Muhammad battle for gold in Sin City. For me, this is what Belal Muhammad said, I was training the whole time regardless, just in case something happened. The last 2 main events on the pay-per-view both got canceled, but since my last fight with Gilbert Burns, I took that one on short notice, and I was like, I never wanted to get out of shape like this again because I was so bad before the fight, and it was the hardest weight cut ever. So I knew I had to be professional from then on, never getting big like that again. Is there anything else in there? Okay, nothing. Okay, so listen, I'm an MMA casual, so I don't follow everything, but I've just caught something that just seems to not make much sense because they said here the UFC routinely sets up alternates to weigh in for title fights in recent years, but never has a situation arisen where the person's services were needed, right? Okay, they just said that. And then the next paragraph, he says, the 2 last main events on the pay-per-view both got canceled. So I get it. I know the John Jones one, there wasn't a backup fighter there, but I thought Pavlovich was the backup fighter there. So there's drama and weirdness there. And then for the Islam Makhachev fight versus Charles Oliveira, listen, like I said, I'm an MMA casual, but I thought Gamrot was the backup. I thought they announced Gamrot as the backup fighter. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. So let's just move on. But I would say this, listen, even though they do book backups, there has been situations where the backup was needed where they didn't use the backup. I just want to say that hasn't never happened. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Belal Muhammad, this seems to make the most sense. You know, Colby Covington got this title shot by being the backup fighter for Leon Edwards and Kamar Usman in, was that March? I think earlier this year, Colby Covington. But the UFC did not inform anyone, until Colby Covington came in and weighed in. Like, no one knew anything. It was a shock, right? Colby Covington wasn't on the gram saying, hey, I'm going to be the backup fighter. He wasn't doing interviews. He just showed up and weighed in, and people were just like, hold on, what's going on here? Kobe's the backup fighter. So, with Belal Muhammad, obviously that's a great step to take, to, let the UFC know, like, if anything does happen, I'm ready to be the backup fighter for this card. And if nothing doesn't happen, then hey, I should be next in line like Colby Covington was. UFC 296 is stacked in my favorite weight division, the UFC welterweight division. I feel like that division is just completely stacked with great fighters. So it's interesting to see Belal Muhammad get this opportunity. Like I said, with the UFC being stacked with welterweight, you would think that, hey, if Leon Edwards or Kobe K.S. Covington wasn't able to compete, you have names like Shavkat Rakhmonov, Wonder Boy, Vicente Luque, Ian Gary, and now you're also gonna have Belal Muhammad on the card. So that not on the card, but in the building weighing in. So yeah, it should be fine. I personally, like I said, I'm an MMA casual, so I don't follow everything that goes on with the sport. I know Belal Muhammad gets a lot of hate for his whatever it is he does. I don't know much about Belal Muhammad. I don't follow his story almost at all, to say the least. But I do remember he did fight Leon Edwards, and didn't he get poked in the eye or something, right? Wasn't that, I think that was around 2021 or 2020. I can't remember. But I know they fought before, so I don't understand where, Belal Muhammad goes in there and says that, puts Leon Edwards with Colby Covington, saying that these are the two most inactive welterweights in the division. Neither of these guys like to fight. They're both good at running. I totally don't agree with that. Like, Colby Covington is not known for running in his fight. He's not known for not liking fighting. I don't know why Colby Covington has not fought since 2022, where he defeated Jorge Masvidal. I believe that was March of last year. There's a lot of contenders that Colby Covington could have fought. He could have fought Belal Muhammad. He could have fought a Hamza Chimaev right in the last year, but for some reason he never fought anyone after Jorge Masvidal, and he still got the title shot. So I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be a great fight. I am actually rooting for Colby Chaos Covington to win this fight versus Leon Edwards. You have Leon Edwards coming out and saying that after this fight, if he wins, well, he says after he defeats Colby Chaos Covington, he's going to go and call out the middleweight champion. He wants to fight the winner of Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland, which takes place in next month, January of 2024. So you have that, but then you also have Colby Chaos Covington, who says if he wins, he's kind of, calling out Islam Makhachev, right? So neither of these fighters, not ducking Belal Muhammad, but they're just not paying any attention to Belal Muhammad. So we have to see what happens. If Leon Edwards win, does he call out the middleweight championship? Does the UFC give that to Leon Edwards, right? Because he's gonna have a little bit of the argument. You gotta like, at first I didn't understand what he was talking about, but now you have to look at it like, hold on. I'm the champion. I haven't lost a fight in like 10 years or something like that. It's like on a very, very long losing streak. He defeated Kamaru Usman. UFC just named Kamaru Usman versus Hamza Chimaev as a #1 contendership match in November, right? So Leon Edwards is like, hold on, I defeated Kamaru Usman not once, but twice. Why would he get a title shot in the middleweight division before me? I'm the champion. So I kind of agree with him on that, right? Like, if that's the argument he's going to make, I don't know if argument he's making for fighting for the middleweight title, but he does have a point. And if Hamza Chimaev is the #1 contender, then, well, that's even more of a point for Leon Edwards. Now, with Colby Covington, if he wins, where does he go, right? Like, does he call out Islam Makhachev? Does Kamaru Usman come back to the welterweight division and say, hold on, this guy's the champion? I beat him twice. Are you kidding me? Or does Colby Covington, win and he has to fight Belal Muhammad, right? Who knows? We'll see. It's going to be a great fight. I'm rooting for Colby Chaos Covington in this one. But let me know your opinion of this story. Who do you think is going to win the fight, right? That's all. Backups. alternatives, who's going to fight who next, middleweight, lightweight, none of that matters. Who's going to win the fight this weekend, right? This Saturday, finally, we're here, UFC 296, Colby Chaos Covington versus UFC welterweight champion Leon Rocky Edwards. I'm Team Covington. I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about UFC welterweight contender Belal Muhammad confirms his role as a UFC 296 backup fighter for the UFC 296 main event UFC undisputed welterweight championship fight between Colby Chaos Covington and Leon Rocky Edwards. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button. And please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.